Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. One classical collection finished, why not start another one? Today I will be reviewing a release from a previous classical collection called Russian Oud. This is quite a famous Areej le Dore fragrance. One could say it even brought the brand to the map for more regular people, especially the original release of Russian Oud. I never had the original bottle, but I had a pretty generous sample. I wore it maybe 4 times, so I think that's quite enough to do assessment and comparison to the second version. By now, I call Russian Oud DNA like a creed aventus of artisanal perfumery, because as many brands of artisanal descent we have in our community, most of them by now have Russian Oud DNA inspired fragrance in their collection. Few to mention, but one of them would be Bortnikov Lava Oud. I will talk about this comparison shortly. Some others, I sold most of them because I don't think I need more than 2 bottles of this DNA in my collection, but Mia's Perfumes Iris Cacao is also a more woody version of this exact DNA, and there are plenty others, but as I'm not actively seeking to find more Russian Oud DNA based fragrances, by now I actually forgot some of them, and well, I think 2 mentions is enough. So okay, what is this Russian Oud? Obviously you all by now know that there's no oud in Russia. That's just a figure of speech. This is basically cacao oud fragrance. I will do a fresh spray maybe. Very nice atomizers. Areej le Dore never compromises on its presentation, although this box had some quality control issues, but not Russian Oud but others from that collection, but I will talk about them when the review time comes. So yeah, bunch of cacao off the top, something a little bit fresh for the first few seconds to lure you into the scent. Immediately a little bit of Indian oud, but it's not, it's maybe Indian oud, but it's not the usual fecal smelling oud. I think it might have been aged, or maybe quite small amount was used, I'm not sure, but it's pleasing. At least for my nose, I think this is one of the most mass appealing Areej le Dores out there. Maybe that's the reason why it became so popular and sought after. The first version of this fragrance I saw selling for almost $1,000 by now, and original retail was $250 for the first one and this one. I respect Adam for not raising his prices, even though he absolutely could. He's not compromising on the presentation. It's always unique, heavy. This cap alone, you know, you could hurt someone with this. So yeah, by now I think that market has a little bit overflown with these kind of Russian Oud inspired fragrances, but we need to give credit due where it's due. Adam, as far as I know, came up with this particular DNA, and it made him popular, and vice versa, he made this DNA popular. Is it similar to the original? Yeah, I think it is quite similar. There are a few differences. Mainly, this is quite a lot more sweet, more cacao. The original was a little bit more leather orientated and a little bit wood heavier than this, and maybe a tad less mass appealing. But this, due to the sweetness, the cacao has a little bit better performance. It's a little bit easier to enjoy, although it's pretty easy. Both of them are pretty easy to like. Now, why do I have Bortnikov Oud with me here? Well, I have heard plenty of people saying that Russian Oud is similar to Bortnikov Oud Monarch. In my opinion, it's not true at all. They are completely different fragrances. I see basically zero similarities. But I have this Oud here, and I see quite a lot of similarities here. They are not identical, but they are like two brothers from the same mother. Oud has a little bit less sweetness. The wood here is more funky. Performance here is a little bit less. Oud is not a good performer. And overall, Oud is a little bit more artsy. In my opinion, it's a lot easier to pull off Russian Oud 2 than is to pull off Oud. As regard to Areej Cacao I mentioned before, I don't have a bottle, I sold it. That one was a lot more woodier. In my opinion, the wood chosen in Areej Cacao was a little bit too overwhelming. I don't think it was a good choice. Although if you are missing a touch more wood from this, Areej Cacao is still, I would recommend it, because sometimes in these fragrances to smell actual wood can be tricky, because they blend it in the base and they don't use that much of it most of the time. And in Areej Cacao the wood is like front and center. So yeah, basically every iteration of this DNA might actually have its buyer. But as far as price goes, let it be Bortnikov or Areej Cacao by Mias Parfums, actually retail the Russian Oud was and still is the cheapest out of them all. Of course, in the secondary market it's not the case at all. These not even so old but now discontinued Areej le Dores in the secondary market come for a pretty high price tag, and it has its reasons, you know. Good quality fragrance for affordable, let's say, price compared to its competitors attract people to brand of Areej le Dore, and I respect him for that, because this hobby can be very exclusive and many people actually can't afford these fragrances, and obviously why. But if you can click fast enough, at least one or two fragrances from every Areej le Dore collection is quite affordable for everyone. So yeah, my final thoughts on this Russian Oud. I see why it made Areej le Dore brand so popular. It is a very pleasing, soothing fragrance, perfect for fall and winter. It is sweet, it is warm, it actually has oud in it, and a little bit of musk. Musk is not too prevalent here, but it is here. You can smell it by, not maybe by smell, but the texture the fragrance has. It has this a little bit of cozy, furry scent, accompanied by cacao, and all this actually provides assistance one note for another, and the whole composition is actually really good. For people who are animalic freaks like me, I would love here to be some more oud, or at least a little bit less cacao, and maybe the leather facets that are missing compared to original. I would love them to be here once again. But overall, given that even like probably 3 years ago Adam said that Russian Oud is impossible to recreate, I applaud him. He did a decently good job. Similarity, I would say probably 9 out of 10 compared to original, but it basically maybe depends more on your perspective. For one who is very focused on the leather and doesn't like sweetness at all in fragrances, this similarity might rank a lot lower. I have friends who say it's like 5 out of 10 similarity. I think they're overreacting a bit, but my point is that basically this is a sweeter, more mass appealing version of the original. I basically still get the same kick out of it that I got from the original release, but because original release nowadays is impossible to get, like with most older Areej le Dore fragrances, I think this is more than a suitable replacement. And if you are new to this kind of fragrances and you want to get the gist of what is this hobby all about, what's the main difference between these scents and regular niche fragrances, I think Russian Oud 2 is a pretty good place to start. And well, it got expensive in the secondary market by now, but it's still not like 1,000 euros or something like that. You can get this for maybe 350, something like that, maybe 400, depending on how much people want to upcharge and like make profit. So yeah, this fragrance gets a recommendation from me, especially if you have never smelled this DNA. I think it is pretty worthy of experiencing. But if you have smelled some fragrances with similar DNA from other brands, personally for me it got that bit old quite fast. So yeah, once again, thank you for watching my review. As always, please subscribe, like, comment, let's talk about it. If you know other Russian Oud 2 type DNA fragrances, please type them in the comments. It probably will help people who want to experience something like this but maybe can't find the original bottle. And yeah, please have a good evening and goodbye.